Hi there, Wynand Myburgh here, and welcome to this part 2 of the two-part series on the book review of The Automatic Millionaire. Okay, so what is the latte factor? Let me ask you, do you know what you spend your money on? After the increases you had the last couple of years, are you really better off? How much you earn has almost no bearing on whether or not you can and will build wealth. The trick, according to Jim McIntyre, to get ahead financially is by watching the small stuff. In essence, watching your latte factor, whatever that might be. The little spending habits we have can have a huge impact in the long run, and we'll probably be better off without them. Let me tell you the story of Kim to explain the effect small spending has in the long run. One day, at the end of an investment class taught by David, a young woman by the name of Kim raised her hand. David, these ideas you shared is good in theory, but they do not have anything to do with reality. David was shocked and asked Kim, why do you say that? Kim said, well, I live from paycheck to paycheck, so the idea of saving anything is just impossible. I barely make ends meet at the end of the month. How can I possibly save $5 to $10 a week? By now, everybody in the class nodded their heads in agreement. So David said, let's look at this. And he started to ask her some questions about her daily expenses. David asked, how do you start your day? Do you, by any chance, have a coffee before you get to work? Yes, she said. David said, okay. Do you make it at home or do you buy it on your way to work? Kim said, I buy it at Starbucks before I get to work every day. David said, is it a normal coffee? No, said Kim, it's a double non-fat latte. David said, and how much is that? Kim said, $3.50. David said, do you get anything else? Say a bagel? Kim, yes, she said, usually a muffin for $1.50. A guy in the front row is amazed and asks, how can you pay $1.50 for a muffin? Kim replied, it's a fat-free muffin. This amounted to about $5 by now. So Kim, David said, you're not even at work and you've spent $5. David then asked, what else do you do during the day? Well, Kim said, at 10 I'm usually taking a break and we go and get some juice. Oh really, David said, and what does that cost? $3.95, Kim said. Then her friend butts in and says, Kim, you usually get that extra Kingo stuff as well. That stuff that increases oxygen to the brain. Okay, David says, and how much is that extra? Kim said about 50 cents. So that amounts to $4.45. David said, do you get something to eat? Yes, she said. By then, I'm usually starving, so I get a power bar. And David asked, how much is that? About $1.75. So Kim, by 10 in the morning, David said, you have already spent $11.20. So to make a long story short, if Kim can save $5 a day, she's now 23, she can save $150 a month, which will amount to almost $7,000 a year. If Kim saved that money at say 10% interest per year, she can have about 1.2 million in the bank by age 65. So what is the moral of the story? First you might say, but Wynand, I do not drink lattes. Well, it's not about lattes, but it's all about those little things we spend money on that's unimportant to have and which in the long run has an enormous impact on our financial situation. And that is in essence your latte factor. We don't realize how much we spend on these small unimportant expenditures. And if we change our habits, it can have a profound effect on our debt situation and go a long way in creating our destiny. So take this challenge and do this exercise. Identify your latte factor and monitor it for 7 days and see what it all amounts to. And I'm sure you'll be very surprised. Well, it was great fun sharing this two-part review series of David Bach's national bestseller, The Automatic Millionaire, with you. And at age 42, I'm implementing these strategies and principles together with my business platform to accelerate this process from a 20-year plan to a 5-year plan. The best is that I can do this automatically. Set it up once and see how things grow. So, if you want to learn more about the system and the platform I use that enable me to accelerate this whole process from 20 years to 5 years to become an automatic millionaire, just click on the link below, the link that you find in the information box. This was great sharing with you, and I'll look forward to our next video.